Do you feel you're in the dark? Your sun is rising.
Hi, girls. So today, what we're going to talk about are priorities. Now, I bet you've heard all kinds of speeches and talks about priorities. This one's going to be a little different. So let's begin with a question. What are your priorities in life? What is your top priority? Now, I'm just going to glance at my notes here every now and then, but many people, they find their priorities somewhere in the following list: money and wealth. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be great to have a whole bunch of money? And wealth means even more than money. Wealth could be other assets, real estate, and other kinds of wealth. And yes, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? But is that your top priority? How about love and relationships? Very important in life, I believe. Love, experiencing life, love, expressing love, very important. But is that your top priority? How about power and prestige, fame and notoriety, right? You know people who have made fame and notoriety their top priority. I'm going to hop over here to another screen, and I'm actually going to read. Now, please, if you're not into the Bible, you're not into anything having to do with the Bible or God or any of that, that's fine. That's quite all right. I go to the Bible often for some very interesting and poignant words. So right now I'm reading from 1 Kings chapter 3, starting at verse 10. It's King Solomon, and he's talking to God, and he says, "Now grant me wisdom and knowledge so that I may lead this people for whom you've given me." Okay, grant me wisdom and knowledge, he asks for. And God says, "Since this was in your heart, and you have not requested riches or wealth or glory or the death of your enemies." Who here has made the death of your enemies your top priority? Apparently this was common back then. "And since you have not even requested long life, but have asked for wisdom and knowledge to govern my people, blah, 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 therefore wisdom and knowledge have been granted to you, and you will also be given riches and wealth and honor, unlike any other king before." And just in case you're more prone to the New Testament than the Old, in Matthew 6:33, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness." Now we have to get into what do those words mean, but for the moment, pretty much what it said in Chronicles, in 1 Kings rather. So, what's your top priority? Is it that list of things? Now, what about education? There's a lot of people I mean, I made education my top priority most of my life. I was taught to do well in school, and I did, and I got great, very good grades. And then I got a great job and was very good at my career and whatnot, but I wasn't happy. See, I wasn't happy. So I don't know about, making education your top priority. How about, I got it. How about love and marriage? 2.2 children, if that's still the statistic, a small house, white picket fence, 2 dogs, a cat, and a bird. Will that make you happy? I don't know. Is that your top priority? Wealth. I mentioned wealth at the beginning. I spent so many years chasing money. There's a funny thing, because I learned this really early on in my 20s, that chasing money meant, or at least I thought, I believed at the time, that I would have to give up time. I would trade time for money. And I felt that throughout my life, there were times when I had neither. There were times when I had wealth, And there were times when I had time. But there was never a time when I had both. At least not in that track of my life. And yet, as I did all of that, none of that made me happy. So, let me ask you, let me just throw it out there as a possibility for top priority. What if what if you began with happiness? What if happiness and joy and inner peace was your top priority? Would the rest of the pieces fall into place? Well, throw in the things that you can learn when you come to life with that high frequency energy of happiness and joy and gratitude. Because when you do, it attracts things that you want. It attracts knowledge. It attracts wisdom. It attracts money. It attracts love. It attracts relationships. It attracts fame and notoriety. It can. So may I suggest, as a top priority, happiness.